Welcome to this demo video of the use case of how we would use CluedIn to achieve the 360 view of our customer. So we're going to log in and we're greeted with our standard CluedIn dashboard. Now, of course, to be able to form the unified view of a customer or just a record in general, we will need to fetch some data. So we have a huge amount of integrations to choose from. Of course, your classics like Salesforce, might be Oracle databases, might be something like Hadoop, or maybe some of the more modern data lakes, for example. So there we go. And of course, we're wanting to connect this data with the existing data that we already have in our platform. So if I just head over to, all our connectors, you can see I've already got quite a lot of integrations plugged in. So what I'm wanting to do is bring in a new source, and for it to help me connect the data that exists within that source into the existing records that I already have. What I'm hoping I can do is that I can search for a company or an individual, and that I don't have 15 different representations of the same company, that I have that kind of great single view. So we're going to add a connector, and in this case we're going to add our CRM system. Now I'm going to connect, and I can use the browser to that's remembered my token to be able to authenticate with the HubSpot system, or I can just head over to my CRM to be able to copy this API token so I can connect CluedIn to that source. So after the connection has been made, the first thing that's going to be shown to me is, here is the expected data that you will receive by integrating this source. And this looks kind of what I'm looking for. I've got companies and tasks and deals and people and activity, and that's great. So I'm going to just click next, and then it gives me this option of listening to data in real time, so getting these push notifications. That sounds good. I mean, I want to know about the data in HubSpot in the CluedIn system as soon as it gets created or updated, so I'd like to be able to also have that feature. So I'm going to start ingesting. Now this is going to go off, and it's going to start to fetch the data from HubSpot. I think I'm expecting around maybe 2,000, 3,000 records. So this shouldn't take long, but this process is going to take care of figuring out if we have existing records that already exist within the account, that the data from that system can actually deduplicate and merge into a unified record. And just to give you kind of an experience of what this looks like in the source system, even if I look up myself, you can actually see we have multiple records and duplicates in the source system. So even in the source system, let alone all the other tools that we use here, I don't really have a single view of a contact or a customer, etc. So what I'm hoping for is that when I search for this record in the CluedIn platform, that I don't get one record for each of these. I actually get a unified merged record of all these duplicates. So if we head back to our screen, great, our processing is done. And you can see your classic data quality scores that you will get when you integrate any source into CluedIn. And we can take that in another video and dive into that. But what I'm really interested in doing is then being able to see how well that did at integrating into my existing data. So if I just search for everything across my data sources and my data that I have in CluedIn, you can see that basically it's brought back the data from all the different systems that I plugged in. It's categorized it and cataloged it so it's very easy to find and search. So for example, if I wanted to look for, I'm interested in finding all people, actually let's just search for myself, and I'm interested in finding all people that existed within the HubSpot system. You can actually see that it's done a pretty good job, that pretty much has just got two records here that could possibly be me. And what's happened is essentially that there's not enough metadata on this record for us to confidently be able to merge these, but I'll show you how you can fix that in a moment. So you might also notice that I've got this record here, and as I mouse over these different icons, you can actually get an idea that the data that we have on this individual spans across these different sources. In fact, as I kind of touch on this little ellipsis, you can see, wow, it's actually merged from a lot of different sources. Now, if I can click on this, I can see a preview of this record, so the metadata that we have. You kind of get a grasp of where we were able to actually get this data on this record from. Some of these are of course, external data sources, things like AngelList and Glassdoor. And some of them are internal, like the HubSpot account that we just plugged in, or our Salesforce account. Now, of course, we can right-click and we can open this in a new tab to be able to drill through to this record and have a view of this kind of unified customer 360 that kind of everyone is craving. So as I open this tab, it's loaded what we have called our unified view. So this is absolutely everything that we have on this individual from across the different systems. And you not only get a nice handy view into all the connected data as well. So here you can see here all the different types of data that are connected to this record. And you can click on those to actually see what those are. But I'll also take you up to this all properties view, where you get a full metadata history and lineage of where did we get the data that we have on this record from. Now, when I searched through the CRM before and I found multiple different records alluding to me, they all had different email addresses. So I'm wanting to look up the email property that we have. And we can go down the bottom. Here's our email, and you can actually view the history of this. So what were all the emails that we have on this record and from the different systems that CluedIn has been able to figure out that they're actually all alluding to the same individual, even though they might not have a unique overlap in any way. So with this, you basically have a way to determine what data you have, where you got it from, who is the creators and authors of that data, and you get the historical view of this. Now, this is the lineage that we obviously need to be able to use this data with confidence and know that it's of high quality. And of course, as you would have seen when I opened up the email property, you will also get the kind of quality scores that are now a big piece of CluedIn to see what's the accuracy and the completeness and the consistency of the values that we have from the different systems. So obviously, with that in mind, we can start to be able to search for companies as well. So if we search for a company, we'll obviously bring back all the data that we have, 2,750 results from across the different systems, and this is made up of mail and tasks and events. But you can see that it's already kind of prioritized the actual company record itself, and it's done a pretty good job at telling us, I've been able to merge this company's data from across these different systems. Now, once again, we can click on this record and get a kind of preview of what the unified view will look like. But the important thing is here that it's for the 360 view, it's not just about 360 views of people. It's also companies or tasks or documents. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and give you insight into how you can get the 360 view of your customer with your data with the CluedIn platform.